Hello, hello, hey, hello. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes, see if anybody trickles in. Had a couple folks say that they wanted to come by, check out what is going on. Gonna answer a little email on stream. Also, let me pull up. I know I somewhat planned this. Preposterous. Man, I almost need like 3 screens now. I need like one overhead like this. Too many things, people. Too many things going on. Let's maybe drop that. Turn me up a little bit. I was a little quiet whenever I was reviewing my my recording, so let's mess with some things. Go. Video scripts. Alright, web videos. Okay. Gonna pull up. Let's pull up the UI kit. Let's get fancy today, folks. All right. So let's hop in our good old example page. It's getting nice and full. Probably gonna have to clear it out at some point. A little spring cleaning. Analytics all look good. Stream is healthy. It's a good day. It's a good day, folks. Happy Thursday. All right. So, sorry, I can probably get rid of that. But hey, why not? Let's do it. All right. So, one thing that I'm starting to get a lot of requests for, and I know a lot of offices are doing this, is webinars, recorded videos, ways to share communications on the webpage. You can add videos pretty easily. There's a couple questions you got to ask yourself, though, whenever you're setting this up. How am I either recording or streaming that? I'm streaming through YouTube because it's fairly straightforward and easy for me. And I don't have the limitations that most of you will have with this. This is an internal audience. I'm not broadcasting this or posting it on our website. So I don't have to meet the federal compliance guidelines for this. Unfortunately, when you're trying to talk to students or parents or both, you need to make sure that we meet all accessibility needs. Really, that means captions. So if you are doing a live recording, you need somebody to live caption. We've been using a service. Simply email me and I'm more than happy to connect you with that group. There's my lovely email there. If you're recording, that's a bit easier. One trick I've kind of used is posting or uploading the video to YouTube and keeping it hidden. And YouTube auto captions, after about an hour or two, will generate a file of the captions. You can download that and then edit that file. This got more complicated though because of the way YouTube does captioning, but maybe that'll be a whole different video. So yeah, if you're doing video and putting it on the website, you need captions. Is really the too long didn't watch of that. Now, how do we actually put it in? Well, luckily there's some easy peasy code that comes with it. YouTube, this is from Vimeo, but pretty much any web streaming software or video hosting website is going to have this embed code. You put the iframe in there and then that's it. You just copy paste. Again, gotta make sure it's captioned, but you can do things like edit the width. Let's see how well that works. if I recall, it actually behaves on our CMS. Yeah. Nope, it doesn't. Oh, hey. Hi, Jen.
Oh, hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Oh, I see you're muted. You mute yourself?
I did mute myself.
Oh, happens.
How are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
It keeps muting myself. I
Yeah.
am actually on my phone because my sound on my laptop isn't working.
Oh, no. That's
Yeah, I
unfortunate.
actually might have to go to AU to get a new laptop today.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've been working with OIT on it, and I had some issues before this all started being remote, and so they're like, we might need to get you a new laptop.
Oh, no. Well, hopefully we can get that resolved, or just get a brand new laptop.
Problem. So I can't actually see you or anyone on the call, but is there anyone else here?
Nope, just the two of us. I'm just,
Okay,
yep,
cool.
hanging out.
How you doing?
Doing all right. Yep, making it through. Doing
Yeah,
doing the stream a little bit, but just, you know.
Cole, you'll be proud of me. Maybe, I don't know, but
Uh-huh.
I've updated 2 web pages so far on my
Nice.
website. I deleted a lot, and then I
Uh-huh.
just put really like a basic page on 2 of our tabs. So,
Mm-hmm.
because there was just a lot of misinformation and outdated stuff. So
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Nice.
I haven't ventured into like adding images or doing anything complicated, but I just want the right like updated information.
Yeah, I think that's a good baseline to start with.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start small and build. But I think I remember you saying that you're the only one that can like delete or edit any of the left-hand tabs. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
So I can send you this in an email if it's helpful. But there's one tab that now everything's deleted, and we would just delete the tab altogether.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So I can email that to you.
Okay. And you deleted the page or just the content on the page?
Just the content on the page.
So these are blank pages?
It's just basically if you click the tab, there's nothing comes up really.
Okay.
So the tab itself can go away as well, and anything that it would have led to.
Right, but the page that those links on the left-hand side go to, those pages are now blank. You've like deleted all the content on them?
Yes.
Okay.
Just on one of the tabs, yeah.
Okay. I'll probably go ahead and delete those pages as well.
Oh yeah, sure.
If they're blank, yeah.
You don't
Okay.
need- yeah. It's called Getting Involved. It's the last tab on our web page
Okay.
on the bottom.
Yeah.
But I can email it to you if that's helpful.
Yeah, no, take a look.
Yeah. It
Great.
just had lots of like weird information that was not relevant anymore, and so we just were like, let's get rid of this altogether. So,
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, how are you? I'm sure you've got a lot of people reaching out. When I saw your office hours, I was like, oh, perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Certainly staying busy.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to really up my game in the website world because I want to feel like I can do stuff remotely.
Yeah, and I realize that there's just not a lot of very good and clear documentation out there, and it's even harder to find it for a lot of you folks. So that's why I kind of wanted to while I'm streaming right now, so that way I have this available. We got the office hours, and then it's recorded on YouTube automatically, so people can just go and reference it, or I can point people like, hey, images, go to this.
Yes, no, exactly. That's great.
So, yeah.
Let's see. Well, I guess if you're free to talk about the other thing really quick.
Of course.
I think the Zoom, like doing Zoom and recording could work fine for us if you think that then we could take that and do some edits with it.
Yep.
So I was thinking, Revo, and I can just schedule a Zoom call between us, record it, and just see how that goes and see the quality and
Right.
And then I can reach out to the students. It's really just going to be him checking in with a variety of students, and that we would kind of piece it together as sort of a narrative of just putting some faces behind some of the students and what they're missing, but also looking forward to with our center. And so it could just kind of be, it wouldn't be live. It would be more of something that we could just put out there.
Okay.
When it was ready. So.
Yep. So one question I got is, what do you want to edit this with? Because
Yeah, that's That's a good question.
Yeah.
Great question. Yeah,
Because we can record these easily enough. It either will record locally to your computer, and you set that up in the Zoom settings, or to the cloud. And either way really works. We can add captions. I was kind of talking about it earlier, but my trick for this is I put it onto YouTube,
sure.
and hide the video, and then YouTube will auto caption it, and you can download that caption file.
Oh, great. And
Right.
then edit it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, YouTube has made some changes to that, though, where the way that a caption file, so you can't see. Oh, I don't have a camera going on with this. Let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Nice. All right. I don't know if I have a caption file here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Let me edit with Notepad. So the way that it works is you see these like timestamps.
Yes.
So that's the first part. That's the start, and then that's the end of that like line.
Yep.
You see how these times overlap?
Oh, yeah.
That's because YouTube has it do like an auto scrolling. Now, I found software that can help me fix that. But again, it's another step, another different piece of software, and another like potential breakpoint for it, right? So like you can see how this is suddenly starting to get complicated.
Yeah, that is complicated.
So you can do this yourself and add in captions. There's also whatever video editing software we use is probably going to have software that will let you caption it.
Okay.
Do I have Camtasia here? I don't. Camtasia is the software I have on my work laptop that we've used in the past. It's pretty good.
Camtasia. Okay.
Yep. It costs though, of course. So like,
Right.
it's not like it's just there. There are free things out there. Like every PC has Windows Movie Maker on it by default. A lot of Macs have, I think, iMovie by default on it.
Okay.
I can take a look to try to find something, and I can talk to Elise to see if she knows of anything that would be free and easy.
Yeah, we're totally open. I mean, yeah, and also like, I mean, if this isn't the, I think, yeah, I'm wondering if yeah, I'm trying to think of like if I like for example the Georgetown one, I like we could ask what they use just as an example, but I'm wondering if AU has anything else that they're doing that like an office that already has a subscription to something, or I don't know.
Yeah, that's so. For instance, like we have an Adobe Creative Suite license, but what is it, After Effects or something? Like the Adobe software is really complex. Like that's the other problem then, is that what's going to be the learning curve for you and Rev O? Because I can't guarantee that Elise and I are going to have the time to be able to like on demand do this, and especially maybe at the frequency that you guys are wanting. So I think you're muted.
Sorry.
All good.
Anytime I move my phone, it seems like it's.
Yeah.
I think everything I've touched so far in the last week, my technology has failed. Whether it's my phone itself, which was the whole thing, or this the speaker on my computer. But it's
Right.
Part of me is like, I should just invest in a new laptop at this point. But if AU can provide one, then that's great.
Yes.
I've been working with them, so working on that. Let's see.
So that's one of the
yeah, basically I'm open. Like I agree, it's a balance of like the easiest, but also like some quality, or and I'm happy to do a lot of the work, but I know what you're saying with like if it's like a complicated learning curve and stuff like that.
Because with the editing, the video, you really don't need to do anything other than add captions, right? Like
Pretty much, yeah.
There's ways that we can maybe like optimize it for like better aspect ratio for mobile and stuff, but also like I guess where are you planning on hosting this?
Well, like I mean, where would it live?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and that's I think what I'm also trying to do is I'm trying to like per Sally's kind of call for like having more of a like what are we doing now webpage, like I would want to kind of have a space that's like more of like our current stuff, like links to the webinars and which we already did, but just to make that kind of more prominent, and then having just like kind of some, and it could live on social media, and we have that link on our website as well. Like I guess whatever seems like it makes the most sense, but yeah.
Right. So I think one of the questions is,
and then like all of that, but in terms of where it actually lives, it could be in a variety of places.
Okay, so I don't. So part of the live is like not just the links, but like the actual hosting of it. So like, does Facebook have its own video? Can you just upload a video to Facebook and it lives there, and then you can link to it from other places?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Or is it going on YouTube? Do you guys have a YouTube account? Is it going on Vimeo? Do you have a Vimeo account? That's.
So actually, here, I was looking at our webpage, and I see that we have a link on there. I remember, and it's been a little while, but we had a YouTube. I don't know if it was a page. This is what I'm trying to figure out right now. Actually, here, I'll do it while I'm. We have a link to YouTube. So I don't know if you can see this. It's like.
Okay. Yeah. I see. So I mean, if there's only a couple of videos on there, we have that Campus Life YouTube where we can add your videos, I guess, maybe. I mean, we might want to talk to Elise. That's not entirely my domain. I don't really do social media.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking here. I think so some of these things that were posted on here, I remember, but I'm trying to remember how we got them on this page.
Right, so you should have like a Gmail account, basically. Every Gmail account has a YouTube account attached to it.
Oh, okay, then I have access to that Gmail.
Okay, well then yeah, we could upload it there and then basically share the link to that YouTube video. We can also caption in YouTube, so that may be all that we need. You and Revo just record your video. I can show you how to add captions through the YouTube studio.
Okay.
And then you upload it, keep it hidden, you add the captions yourself. And really all you have to do with that, it's even easier. Let YouTube auto caption. And then I've been with the webinars, I watch them at 2 times speed and just correct typos basically. So it'll sometimes have AU as AYOU, stuff like that. It gets names wrong a lot. But besides that, it's pretty good. It'll get most of it. So
I'm wondering. Okay, so Cole, sorry, this is random. So I just opened our Gmail account for Kay, and then I see in the Google Apps that there's the YouTube link.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I click on the link, maybe I just have to switch account because it goes right to my personal.
Yep.
account.
Yeah, you gotta switch your account. Yep, because it's gonna try to go with whatever's default. Especially if you have Chrome and you're signed in with your account, it's gonna try to go to that.
Okay, so my videos. Okay, so I got into this now under K.
Yep. And then if you click that little icon again, there should be like a YouTube Studio.
YouTube TV.
Nope, YouTube Studio.
Studio.
Should
Create
be
a video or post. Live.
Sure. Yeah. So you can add a video, upload a video, that's how you would do it. So we would record using Zoom.
Oh, yep, YouTube Studio. Sorry, it just didn't say YouTube Studio, but now, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So then this is where you would do that, and then you would. Okay. I think what I would do, and I can work with Revo on this, is we can do just a 2-minute
Yep.
conversation between the two of us through Zoom or whatever, and record it.
Yep.
And try to upload it, see how it works, and then once I see that and see kind of how that all plays in, that's a good a good direction to go in terms of and we're not going to make these super long purposely, so I think this will probably make us be pretty concise about what these are, so it's not so much just unnecessary captioning and whatever.
Yeah.
So okay, that's very helpful. I think think the YouTube idea is probably a good one.
Nice.
Cool. Okay. Very good. Trying to think what else. Yeah, I've basically, like I said, just been simplifying some of our web pages and making sure they're actually like accurate. Taking away a lot of our like, I don't know if you remember, but Mark put in like tons of like charts and like
Yep.
tabs and stuff, which had like so much repeat information and also like outdated information at this point, which is not his fault, but it's just outdated now. And so I'm just kind of simplifying the pages, and then eventually want to add like an image or things like that. But right now it's just to make sure that it's like the basic simple information that's accurate, with mostly just links to things that I know are going to be constant, like our office AU email and like that are not like changing every 5 days, which that's kind of been the problem with our office, is like things just always change, so everything's outdated by the time.
And our webpage, you can promote events. I don't want to say you shouldn't promote events on our webpage, but it's just you need to be active on editing the webpage if you're going to do that, because otherwise it just looks really bad, especially whenever we got things from like 2017, 2018 that are still on there and stuff like that.
And that's exactly right. So what I'm thinking is, if I can get it to a place where like all of the main tabs are just like things that won't really be needed to be edited, at least not very often at all. And then maybe there's just one page that is a little more like current that I'm committed to like continuing to update. Which now that I'm like in it and doing it, like again, as long as it's fairly simple the way I'm doing it now, I feel like I could maintain that. But I agree with you, like you don't want it to be outdated all the time or whatever. So.
Yes. Yep. Make sure. Yeah. Try not to have events on the webpage unless you're going to actually be Johnny on the spot for updating it.
Yep. No, I think that's great advice.
Yep.
I actually think I could do that a little more now that I feel a little more comfortable with Common Spot, but I just think like I wouldn't want it on every page. It would just be like nice to know like this one page I'm just gonna like always go in a few times a week or once a week if it's like depending on the types of events we put on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, I really appreciate your
Of course.
And the documents that you did send were really helpful. I mean, at this point, I'm not creating new pages. I'm just editing what's there and deleting a lot of content. And then, like, what I've been doing is I have a Word document where I'll put everything I know I want and, like, copy and paste stuff, like, language that I, maybe will need in the future, but that I'm deleting right now. And then that way, I basically just delete all of the elements, and then I put in, like, the new content, and then it's literally just, like, simple text right now.
Great.
With a couple links to things that are not going to be outdated. So,
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, yeah, let me know if you need help with anything.
Okay, no, I appreciate it, and I'll work on the YouTube kind of direction and keep you updated. And then, other than that, I'm trying to think. Do you need any support? That I know that like what you do is obviously way over most of our heads, but if there's anything you need, very happy to help.
Thank you very much. Nah, but I'm good. I'm making it through.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, appreciate you guys having the office hours, and
yeah,
I'm hoping I will get a new computer or a new laptop today.
Yeah.
It'll be my first time venturing into DC since this all started.
Oh wow. Well, best of luck.
I've been in Arlington since like all of this.
Wow.
Kind of laughing. I'm like, I'm gonna go over the bridge.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Right.
So we'll see.
Nice.
Yep. I might even go into our building only because if I'm there, I have access. But we'll see.
Yeah, I've been considering going to campus because I've been using my cell phone as a webcam.
Oh.
I actually like downloaded software for that, so I might like let's see. I don't even know if it'll work with this. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, it's oh, it doesn't want to work. But yeah, I might be going to campus. Oh, there I am.
Oh,
Hi.
there you are.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
man. Okay, well, let me know if you need anything, all right?
Wait.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Represent.
I think we're all just wearing.
It's.
I'm literally like, what sweatpants and sweatshirt should I wear today?
That's going to be the hardest part of going back to normal is having to give up my sweatpants.
Yeah, I literally am like, what color
Yeah, definitely.
And my dog too. My dog's just gonna be like, wait, where did you go?
Yeah, the separation anxiety is gonna be real.
Yeah, like I thought you lived here now.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'll keep in touch about the video thing.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
You too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, man, I have so many videos going on with me. I can't look at myself that much. All right. So I'm probably going to cut a highlight of maybe some good points from that. But one thing that Jen, I kind of wanted to hear from her with the website, the event part is important. I know that we want to promote what we're doing, especially right now. We're trying to show, hey, we're active. We're actually doing things. But please be aware that if you're going to be putting events or time-based information on your web pages, set reminders for yourself, you know. I know we have a lot of forms, for instance, that students have to sign by a certain date, and you're going to get overwhelmed with actually processing the forms, you know. We got to actually do the work as well instead of just simply show that we're doing the work. Please try to be mindful every time you put something that's time sensitive on the website that you're removing it at that time sensitivity. All right, so let's get a little fancy today. I promised we would. Might as well. This is an element. So, ooh, punching the microphone here. Too exuberant. We like to use Google Docs a lot. I notice offices like to coordinate, especially with student staff using this. My advice would be don't. There's usually concerns around privacy and, well, mostly privacy doing that. A lot of times we're having to collect information, have students fill out forms. We have software for that. If you need to share documents, we have OneDrive, we have Teams, we have a lot of different ways that we can do that. So please don't use Google Docs if you can avoid it. So currently, there's been a lot of different offices trying to share opportunities, ways that we can share with our students, like, hey, here's a job opportunity, here's debt relief, here's help for food insecurity. That's great. And spreadsheets, I love my spreadsheets. I know a lot of people hate them, but they're super useful. So we do have ways of displaying spreadsheets, and they're searchable, right? And there's two ways that you can link to this or set the spreadsheet up in the web page. You can either just upload a CSV file, which is basically a less fancy format for a spreadsheet. Ready? You can type a CSV in like header 1, header 2, header 3, and then this will be like row 1, column 1. And use commas to separate it for the different fields, right? That was probably too much detail. For the CSV, just make a spreadsheet. Save it as a CSV. You can upload it. Or you can just do a Google Sheet. If you're going to do that, you got to make sure you're sharing it, people can view, and you copy that link and paste it in. I'm saying this less for you to do this on your own. Please contact me if you want to do this, because there's a couple caveats. Notice how with these spaces, I've got underscores. Can't have spaces in the headers. The headers cannot change, otherwise you're going to break this spreadsheet whenever you try to update it later. You cannot do special characters like quotes, apostrophes, if you're trying to do like apostrophe S or something. Can't do that. So no spaces, no special characters, just plain vanilla text in these header rows. Now, one other thing that people are wanting to do is like link to an opportunity, right? We're trying to make sure students have opportunities and that they can find it. The edu/coronavirus. The resources page has a really good example of how this has been used. If you're doing stuff that is specific for coronavirus, we need to work with them, so please contact me. But you can see, hey, we've got all this stuff, right? And we can sort it by state. The resource type, and description isn't very useful for sorting, but we can do it by name, I guess, if you really wanted. All right, so like, do they have Texas? Hey, look, right there. Boom. This is very useful, right? Not even for this specific moment. You might have something in the future that would work for you. So if you want to link to something, you got to do some HTML. Now, maybe I'll do like a whole HTML stream where we're not even in the CMS and I just show you the basics of this. But this is basically how links work in the actual code. You get the caret a href equals quote, then the web page. You close the quote, you close the caret. The text that you want to actually have the link goes next. Then open caret /a, close caret. Like I said, super useful, neat tool. Please contact me if you want to use it. All right, so I'm gonna do like a quick supercut of this. We are going to delete pretty much all of this. I'm gonna keep this because I'm still testing with it, but we are going to flex grid container. Remember, if we want to delete content, we go to more and delete. And we wait because, again, we have to be patient. Patience is a virtue. Okay, deleted that container. So we're just going to delete this flex grid on the right. Again, we click on our element. It's yellow now because that means I've made a change to it, and that change hasn't been submitted. So we click that, go to more, and delete. Hit yes. All right, nice empty. And now we're going to delete this humble text block. We're going to delete. Yes. So we're going to remake this text block. We're going to pretend like this spreadsheet doesn't exist. Whenever you make a new page, you are going to have this grid layout container. We want to insert a text block on this left-hand side, and we want to put one of those promo elements on the right-hand side. In my text block, I want to add an image at the top, and I want to add a bunch of links to send people to resources and other AU pages I think are very useful. So I'm going to go to Insert, New Element. I can look under 2016 Redesign for text block. Oh man, but I'm terrible at Where's Waldo, you know. So let me just type in this search. Text block. Let's go. All right, we have a text block. I can either click on Define the text block settings, or I can click the gear and go to New Data. So we click that. All right, I want to give it a title, right? I want to say, hey, this is a new page. Hey. Page. And I want a couple sections, right? I want to... page. I'm going to say, just with plain text, there should be a photo above me. And in order to add an image up at the top of our text block, we go to the photo tab, right? So I'm going to hit select image. I'm just going to choose an existing one. We'll add a new image later. I can search for a name. That's really not helpful with images because a lot of times you don't even know what's there if you're looking. So subsite is OCL. Great. I'm just working on an OCL page, so that's what I want. Cool. So I want, we made like a, here's a YouTube thumbnail from one of our webinars. Use highlighted image. Notice the alt text, faculty webinar, March 23rd, 2020. It describes what the image is showing. The image is showing a webinar that we held on March 23rd. Perfect. Hit save. Hey, we've got it there. Great. Text block. Now, depending on how many changes you're making, I like to save kind of in between. I know I want to add more stuff, but especially when it's a new element, just try to save as you're going. Because if you lose a lot of stuff at once, it really hurts. Hey, cool. All right. Hey, this is a new page. There should be a photo above me. That's what it says on the tin. All right. So I want to divide this page up, right? I want to say next, like, I'm going to show an inserted photo. We're going to say text content photo. And I want to make this stand out. So I'm going to give it a heading 2. Because remember, the title and subtitle is a heading 1, and headers have to descend in order. I can't jump to heading 3 or heading 6 here, even though I think heading 6 might look better. Alright, so I'm going to hit enter. Notice how the text goes back to normal. And if we look at our code, we can actually see P is for paragraph. H2, heading 2. Look, it's P again. All right, so, but I want to insert an image. So I click on this little image icon here, the picture with the pencil. Let's add a new one. All right, so whenever you add an image in the content area, you have to do 2 things once you get to here. So let's go through these steps again. I have my cursor where I want to add my image. I'm going to insert image. I've got all these fields here that's kind of giving me specifics of nothing because nothing's there right now. I'm going to hit new. Image gallery. Always default image gallery. Subsite must be unchecked. And then it's going to highlight OCL by default. That's exactly where I want it because that's where I'm working on a page. Hit add image. And let's choose a file. I don't know that I have too many images. I got the Cole Rules one. I've got guitar tab for Careless Whisper. Oh, here we go. Marco Echo. This was a little game I made about echolocation. Marco Echo the game, because this is going to be a picture of a game that I made. So we can just do that. So hit save. Great. The image marcoecho.png was uploaded. We see our alt text. Perfect. So one thing people always ask me is, Cole, I want to change the size of my image. I want to make it look better in the page. 2 things with that. One, we need to make sure that the image itself isn't too big, which shame on me, I did not do. So where was this? This was desktop. Marco Echo. So I've got it set up where I can see my file size just in this. This should work on Mac or PC, but basically you go to the properties. I think for Mac it's get info. And on here it should show the size. 130 kilobytes, great. If your file size is approaching a megabyte, which remember a megabyte is 1,000 kilobytes, then it's too big. It needs to be under megabyte. Honestly, 130 is bigger than any of your images need to be. That can be a little problematic whenever you are taking high quality photos. Our cell phones are now taking really large file size photos because the cameras are getting really good. If you got those like fancy DSLR, right? DSLR cameras, those are going to be really big. So be careful with that. Anyhow, so here you can edit the image size. So I could say scaled, and I want it to be, you want to keep it proportional because otherwise it's going to get stretched. So I could change that. Please don't. If you need to change the image size, do it outside of Common Spot. And also remember, we're pretty limited in what we can do for the aesthetics of it. So if you want it to be just perfect where like it's lining up with these lines of text and stuff, remember it's not going to work on mobile the same way. It's not going to work on a different screen size. You know, if you got like a older monitor, it might not work. Bigger, wider, taller monitor. So don't get too married to a very specific size for images because it just won't stay that way. All right, so we hit save and wow, look at that. It's a dark image. Let's go and just hit save. Let's see how this looks. Wow, press space to screech. So that may actually be something where that's text on the image. But do they need to know that? Is that essential for this image? Or am I just trying to say, hey, this is a game called Marco Echo. So that's why I did the alt text, Marco Echo, the game. All right, so let's go back into this text block. So we've added 2 images, one through the photo tab, one through the actual content section of the text panel. See, you'll notice also if you click the image, there's no like field to change it. Let's say you did want to go back in and adjust that size. Like I said, you shouldn't. Oh, that's a link. Click on that and hit the image. Let's try to edit this size. You want to keep it scaled. Here, let me not scale it properly. Let's make the height like 250. Make it really bad. It might be forcing us to scale no matter what. Here I am trying to break things and I can't even do that. So see, it didn't really do anything, right? That's why I say don't use Common Spot to edit images. It's not an image editing tool. It is a web page manager. Yep. Let's just do original size. Okay, we got Marco Echo, and then under here, okay, let's add some links. Links to Sweet web pages, websites. Let's make this a header too. Heading 2, right there. So let's remember why this can be important, because for a visual impaired user, they can jump through a page using the headers. So when they first get to the page, the heading 1 is going to be one of the first things they see or hear. It'd be like, hey, this is a new page. Then they can move to the headers. Text content photo, great. Then after that, link to Sweet websites. And then they can, okay, I want the website links. And then they can tell the screen reader, hey, I want to, give me that content. Okay, so whenever we're doing lists, one of the most common ways, we just want to add bullets, right? So let's say Google OCL homepage. Maybe we're just talking with Jen. K Chapel homepage. And let's call it good there. All right, so Google. We're just going to go to Google. We're going to click on this add a link button, insert link. Great. Insert link. For external web pages, it needs to be unregistered URL. www.google.com. It might need to have HTTPS technically to be secure, although Google, I think, redirects to that. Anyhow, OCL homepage. All right, this is an internal. It's an AU page, right? So let's click this link. We need page or bookmark on page. That's default. So just select. Hit choose from current subsite. Wow, that's a lot of pages. Wow. Here's a trick for home pages. They're always called index. So we can do that, but let's say, let's filter. There's a couple of different ways that we can do this. Let's say it's a new page that you've been working on. You made a change recently, or you recently created it. You can sort by this date. And this is going to give you the date that it last had a change. So you can see I've been messing with these example pages lately. And hey, Office at Campus Life Home. Let's say we're extra suspicious, right? Let's just double check. You hover over that page and click the arrow in a box. And now we have the OCL homepage. Look at that. Wow. We did it, folks. I'm proud of us. Okay, good. Sorry, too many technology things on the computer. All right, so this is the page I want. I want the OCL homepage. Use highlighted content. Insert link. All right, we're going to do this one faster. K Chapel. Let's link to this. Choose from current subsite. Wait, but K, their homepage isn't under OCL, right? So remember, subsites are just folders. Folders for websites. So let's expand OCL. Hey, there's K. Click on K. And then you have to hit filter. That's the search button. You can also, if you know the name, we know its subsite name is K. Right there. You can just type it in. This box for now is being nice and big. Sometimes it's teeny tiny. So we're in K. And hey, which one is it? Oh, K Spiritual Life Center. I think that's going to be the homepage. I bet it is. Let's take a look. Hey, that is the homepage. All right. So it's highlighted. Use highlighted content. Insert link. There we go. Et voila. Hit save. Oh no. All of my changes. Where did they go? Work. All right. Remember, sometimes it likes to do this. You've made enough changes. It's like, oh, you should take a look at it as published. Go back to work on page all changes, and your stuff will be there. Once, it loads. Remember that bottom left-hand corner? How it says waiting for CMS? That usually tells us, hey, look at this. Ah. Okay, this is why we have to do the HTTPS. Ready for this? Look at that bottom left. It thinks that the address for this page needs to be ocl/www.google.com, which of course doesn't exist. So let's go to... So see how it's that HTTPS right there? That basically provides extra security for a website. If it's just HTTP, that means the website ain't so secure. So let's go and correct our Google link. There's two ways we can do this. We can just break the link right there to unlink it. Or we can click on this again and change the link. Nice. All right, hit update link and hit save. Let's see if that worked, right? You should always test the links. Even I'm bad about that. Sometimes you're busy, you just got stuff to do. It oftentimes saves you time in the long run. Hey, all right. So again, if you hover over a link, it'll tell you where it's sending you, usually in the bottom left. So if I control click, Google, great. Interesting. Must have been work on page my changes before. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we've done a text block. We've added text. We've added images in two different ways, and we've added links. Great. So on the right-hand side, let's add one of those promo elements, right? They're so popular. So we go to Insert New Element, and remember, promos are a flex element. So let's go to add a flex grid container. Right. All right. How many boxes do I want? I don't want a title. It's not necessary. If it's got a red star, that means you have to have it. If there is no red star, then you're good. I'm just going to go 1. If it's empty, it hides it on a web page. It still leaves an artifact there. I haven't seen it mess with anything on the live pages, but if you're just going to have 1 box, just do 1. You can always add more easily enough. All right. So flex elements on the right sidebar. It's a great spot. It's not a bad spot for it. But remember, 2 things with it. The right sidebar is going to go beneath the left whenever people view it on mobile, right? Let's go to our lovely OCL page. You can always test what a mobile version of a web page looks like by hitting F12. And then you can look for the little phone icon. Hit that. And then we'll see, hey, there's the memos in the market, right? And if we go out of it, we see that's what's on the right-hand side. It's going to go underneath the left-hand content. So once again, mobile view, let it load. Here's the top. And there it is, beneath. So just be aware, don't put anything that's super, super critical on that right sidebar because it's going to go beneath. About 50% of our traffic is mobile, so let's make sure that people can get what they need. All right. So we've added a flex grid container to this right sidebar. One final thing we need for it is to change the layout. Choose layout, flex grid for right sidebar. Hit save. So we have 2 flex elements that are super common. They're both called a promo. So we see now we've got these 2, right? So this container over here you can't really mess with. Don't worry about it. It's always important because these can be easy to click on the wrong one. Hover over, make sure it's the right thing that you're trying to mess with. We want to make sure we're adding inside the flex container, this dotted line. Not the bigger dotted line, that's just the right sidebar. So insert new element, flex module. We're going to do a flex promo text only. It's quick, easy. Remember, we can click the gear, new data, or we can just click the text. Hey. It does this sometimes. All right, so we have colors. You can choose whatever you want. Remember, it kind of needs to have a reason to be a different color. If you're going to have a bunch of these, try to keep them all the same color, unless you're using the color to indicate something. I'm going to use my stop sign example again. I used it yesterday, but a stop sign has a lot of different ways it communicates its message to you. It says stop. It has a red color all over it that's different from other traffic signs, and it has a unique shape. Same thing with this. We need our text to say something. If we're using a different color, that needs to say something. Things aren't just done simply because we think they look nice. So title. Time of text flex promo. I display information and help guide people to useful pages. Works just like a text block. The title here is an H1. I'll double check that, but I'm 99% certain. Content area, you can do headers. You have limited space. You can see it says up to 200 characters. This should really be a very short, what do you want? Here's where you're going. Good luck, Godspeed. CTA label is a call to action. You'll notice it doesn't have a red star. You don't have to have a link in these promos. If you just want to have like a little box on the side that says, hey, you're great, you can do that. Let's link to the OCL homepage. Remember, with our links, we want it to be descriptive of where people are going. We don't just want click here. Because if you've got more than one click here on the page, where's here? Right? Don't make people have to work for the information. Right? It's hard enough to keep people's attention on the internet for more than a minute. So don't make them have to work. CTA, call to action, URL. Let's select. It's very close to what we saw with the links. This says page. It's the same thing. So let's choose from current subsite. We're already in OCL. Remember, home pages are always called index, so we could just do that. Let's go on highlighted, insert link. Great, hit save. Let it think. It's thinking a long time. Sometimes that happens. Servers have a rough day too. It's Thursday. It's looking forward to the weekend, folks. It's tired. It's got a server family it's got to go home to. Oh, we might get the error. I was kind of hoping for that yesterday so I could show what it looks like. Maybe it works. Seeing at this time, you might be tempted to just start hitting F5 or the refresh button. Don't do it. Don't push that refresh button. Nice. Hey, look at that green. I always did like green. My favorite color. We hover over that and we can see again in that bottom left, you don't even have to click on stuff. You can always right click, open a new tab. Hey. You'll notice also it's going to CMS. That's because we're in the CMS. Whenever you're live, it'll go live. So yeah, that's honestly, with that information, that is enough to make probably about 80% of your web pages. Add links, add images, add text. If you want to get fancy, we add these little promos. Let me just quickly show you. The flex containers are often used on the right hand sidebar because this does look slick. I do like the way that it appears, but a lot of times we also use it sort of, across. So again, ignore our spreadsheet here. Let's say we wanted to have like those 3 boxes all the way across. Let's do another container, 2016 redesign containers. And we're going to do a flex grid container. Oh, come on. So you notice how I clicked, I'm making sure it's not going to double up. Yeah, it's thinking. I think I'm going to be adding 2 here. Server's having a little bit of trouble. Interesting. Hold on, folks. I think my camera died. I know, isn't that a little spooky? My software says demon. Yeah, it's doing some things. Let's see. Work on this page. See, it's waiting. It's thinking about some things, folks. It's had a long day. It's not even noon. All right. So I just kind of see, now it's got 2 of those. If we had kept clicking, it would have kept adding them. So patience is a virtue. Whenever you're doing web editing, have a cup of coffee ready. Have your email open. Don't let it, drive you nuts. But okay, number of boxes. We're just gonna do 3 across. So hit save. Again, empty elements, you can leave them there. They don't appear on the home page. I would recommend deleting them if you know you don't need them. But if the system's going slow, you can wait to maybe a different day to delete them. You don't got to do it all at once. We'll make it work, folks. All right, so hey, wow, we've got all these containers. So again, we can add flex modules because those promos are good. Let's add a promo with images, right? And we got to be careful with this though, because as we discussed yesterday, the promo with image requires a very specific image size. It's not terribly difficult to size, but we also can't do it after the fact. Remember, this isn't an image editing tool. We can adjust the size of images here. We can kind of play with it, but it doesn't change the baseline size of an image. So it tells you up top here, 640 by 366 recommended. Minimum 350 by 200. What does that mean? That's the pixel size. How can you edit the pixel size? Well, most computers are going to have Paint, at least if it's a PC. And with Paint, you can resize and hit pixels, right? Because we already made one, so we got one ready to go. But you can make whatever you want there, right? So let's select an image. Let's say, surely we already have some of these promos. Let's go and search. So I've got this one, and you can see the pixel size here, 640 by 366. Great. I've already also made another example one, so let's do that for this one. Use highlighted image. Test, that's not great alt text. What I should do is flex promo. I can't use the word image though, so don't fall for that trap. Flex promo, we're gonna do 640 by 366 pixels. Great. Hit save. Title, not required. That's funny. Neither title or content is required. I wouldn't recommend leaving those blank. Maybe title. Maybe content. Again, we tend to use these as ways to filter people through to the correct page that they want to get to. So let's we'll do no title. And again, beware, there's limits to these characters. I'm going to send you to housing and residence life. Oh, not lice. And that's also capitalized. Housing. Call to action. Housing. Let's see if this is too long. And residence life. Alright, so we're selecting the page it's going to. Choose from current subsite. Even though we don't want this subsite, we're going to go deeper. Oh, come on, drop down. Alright, we click the drop down. We can expand OCL. And look, housing right there. Filter. We've got all kinds of pages here. We can try to sort, and home pages tend to be edited the most, I would say, out of a lot of these subsites. So that's a good way to find the page you want. Or you can just search by the page title, and you can of course always hit that arrow in the box to make sure it's the right page. Hey, okay. Flex grid container. This is how it goes. You can see that button's starting to get a bit long. It's getting towards the edge there. So we want our links to be specific. We can't just tell people click here, but you also got to sometimes get clever. For instance, we don't like to use acronyms all the time. We have a lot in higher education, as you all know. If we wanted to, let's say this was too long, right? Just imagine with me for a second. We could do HRL No, you shouldn't do an acronym for the button. Might not be correct, might not be the nomenclature that we want, but if it works, you know. Luckily, that's not a problem for us, so we don't have to worry. Okay, so I told you to ignore the spreadsheet, but let's acknowledge its existence. Let's validate it for a second. We want our flex elements to be above this spreadsheet. So let's go to the grid container. 2 ways to move it. We can move up. And let's see what that does. Great. Now we have it up there. Okay, folks. I'm probably going to stay on for a few more minutes. I might. Usually what I'm trying to do, at least once a week, is peruse multiple times a week even, is peruse everybody's homepage or go through a lot of other pages to make sure that there aren't any accessibility issues. I'm going to go ahead and start doing that. So I'll try to talk through what I'm doing. Going to be a little less instructional, but maybe a little bit more live action, which you can see the work looks like. I'm going to try to do a little supercut of this to make sure. Man, I just need to buy a webcam because this guy likes to die on me a lot. Wonder if it's timing out. Anyhow, questions for later. Okay, so I'll do a supercut of this, but this is the basics. Add a text block. Add a flex element. Add more flex elements. Add images. Add links. We might just not have a webcam for the rest of this, frankly. Alright, if it craps out again, I'm just going to get rid of my box and we'll just talk. Or you know what? We can just end it there. Alright, folks. I hope this was useful. Please enjoy the supercut. I will catch you all later.